Welcome to Facebook Live now for what is going to be the remainder of PTR TV on LSR TV's coverage of the American Sim Racing Series, the Twitchy Race Reports Premier Cup Series Championship 200 by Axed Media. Well, YouTube is down today, and we wanted to give it our all to make sure that we can get this race on the air. Not sure what's going on with YouTube, so we are calling this on Facebook Live here tonight. Corey Silva and Evan Black here, and well, we've seen an interesting race. We saw Jeff Ward in the number 7. Yeah, was it Jeff Ward, Evan? Yeah,
Jeff Ward.
Yeah, that crashed. No, yeah,
yes.
It was Jeff Ward in the 90. He did crash. He is out of this race. So Brian Yazik and Scott Eckrich and Jared Mogard are ready and still able to win this championship. And there's a different strategy going on right now. Brian Yazik is leading this race, but he is on a 2-stop strategy. He still has one more stop remaining, and you can see Jared Mogard trying to get by him. That is to get back onto the lead lap, as Mogard presumably will take this race to the checkered flag on his current tire strategy. And the driver that is in the best position right now is Scott Eckrich. He's currently running in 6th position, and he has been the fastest driver all night. Yazik has led a lot of laps at the mid stage of the race because of strategy calls and how the yellow flag did play out earlier in the race. But it's going to be a matter of, can Yazik's tires overcome the longevity that Eckrich will have on his tires, or will a caution come out and throw a curveball in this entire race? That's what we have to figure out. But what we will try to do right now is give you a quick through the field and let you know where all these drivers are running. So Brian Yazik is a championship driver. He is leading this race right now. Jordan Ashland is in 2nd. Scott Eckrich is in 3rd. Tyler Seville is running in 4th. David Hudson is running in 5th. Michael Krobik in 6th. Richard Stallings in 7th. Alex Giese in 8th. Jared Haggerty in 9th. And then Andy Veltman running at your top 10.
And running 11th, we have the 42 of Jim Fu still chugging along with that front end damage on that Camaro ZL1. Troy Haight is running in 12th. Championship contender Jared Mogard running in 13th. Scott Smith running in 14th. First car lap down, Mitch Brown in 15th, Josh Walker in 16th, Tim Knott 17th, Jason Stewart 18th, Richard Fletcher in 19th, and Lee Staples in 20th.
And then Brad Cross 3 laps down in 21st, and he is actually the last active driver on the racetrack right now. Jordan Harnish, Jeff Ward, Jack Wells, Brandon Stokes, John Kennedy, Woody Mahan, and Steve Buhala all behind the wall already. So as this race is wrapping up, it is 43 laps to go, and Brian Yazik's been on the track for 26 laps. He has about 15 seconds over his championship competition of Scott Eckrich, and caution on the racetrack.
And this changes everything.
And it is Andy Veltman and Alex Giese that are around in corner number 3.
Looks like that started with Giese and Haggerty.
I'm going to go a little bit further back on the replay. You can see Giese loose off of 2. That's been the trouble spot, and Giese was just like slaloming as if he was on a going down the slope, and I think that pink machine had no idea how to avoid him, and then Veltman just, I think he just also had no idea where to go. Try to quickly on board with Veltman. He saw it, and oh, that was just a innocent bystander impact for Veltman, and that'll presumably take him out of the race. But Brian Yazik, that's, I mean, I'm assuming this is the best thing he could have seen, because I don't think that tire strategy was going to work out for him. So now, while he doesn't have the speed of Eckrich, at least now he's going to be on even playing field and try to see what he can do in that category. And he does have a rather sizable gap on 2nd place Jordan Ashland, so he should, barring a horrible pit stop, still be the leader.
Yeah, there was about 3 lap cars in between Yazik and Ashland, so he should win the race off pit road. And Jared Mogard back in 11th, coming down pit road now as well. Looks like everyone coming down.
Yep, and obviously you want tires at all costs here at Homestead. Most of these drivers have been out for about 20 laps or so, at the very least, some more. So, waiting to see who gets off a pit road first. Yazik, not much of a surprise, will get off pit road first. Jordan Ashland second, and Eckrich a close third. These guys will funnel back onto the racetrack, and again, on Facebook Live, and I know this video will not be seen live probably by too many people right now, is because, well, we didn't get to cover this. We didn't get to stream or advertise. We're going to be on Facebook, but for those watching in the future, YouTube, which is, I mean, obviously one of the largest websites on planet Earth, doesn't go down very often, but YouTube is not very operable right now, so we are hoping that we can cover the remainder of this race on Facebook, as we are, and letting these guys get their coverage in and hopefully put on a good championship finale for you guys. You can see on the ticker, championship drivers are denoted with their little trophy icon next to them, but they are first and third and I'm rather ninth right now, is Mogard back in ninth. Yeah, Mogard was running better than that earlier in the race. Not quite sure. I think
he was just on the same strategy as Eckrich, and he was already about 10 seconds off of Eckrich, so.
Yeah, I don't think he got to pass the cars that he may have been queued up to pass, so now he's going to have some work to do, but I mean, now, Evan, they're going to be on even tires right now, everybody up front, and Eckrich and Yazik, and then we have Jordan Ashland. Can't forget Ashland. He is a very fast driver, so don't want to count him out entirely, but we know Eckrich doesn't, well, he has the pace. Yazik has the track position. What does Yazik have to try to win this race right now, or is it just a matter of time, do you think?
I think if this goes green to the end, it's going to go to Eckrich, but if we run 5 or 10 laps and have a caution and just finish the race out like that, which I don't think we will, but if that does happen, Yazik could be in a position to win this race. He's had pretty good short run speed. Just Eckrich has been kicking everyone's butts on the long run. Yeah,
it just turns out to be how long can you age those tires, how long can you preserve those tires, and if you can run that high lane successfully, you will really bog those drivers down and on the inside lane, and it can work for a long enough time, but as Evan said, eventually kind of the cream does rise to the crop, so we would expect that. But again, we can't count out Jordan Ashland. He is up front quite a bit. 5 top 5s and 10 top 10s in the 15 races we've run this season, and I know we've called him out nearly winning a couple races, so he may try to sneak one out and ruin the championship party, so stay tuned for that as we will approach about 37 to go at the stripe. Yazik will be the control vehicle to the inside lane, and Ashland, a little bit of technical difficulties there, but he's back going, so I would get us going for this restart.
Coming through turns number 3 and 4. Should be about 37 laps to go once we get back under the green flag here. Out of turn 4 now, waiting for the pace car to make its left turn down on the pit road. There it does that. Now the field's in the hands of Brian Yazik, and there he goes really early in the box and gets a really good jump over that 27 of Ashland. And Scott Eckrich in the 70 is going to clear that 27 going down into turn 1.
Yeah, I think Yazik may have hoped a little bit better that the 27 was going to be able to hold on and maybe fight with Eckrich for a little bit. He
Cars around on the backstretch.
David Hudson. The Tyler Seville in the grass. So immediately off the restart, we are back under yellow flag conditions.
Looks like that started with the 11 of Seville. He just got loose out of turn 2. We've seen many drivers have issues there.
And then again, that was
75. Just he had nowhere to go there.
Bystander. That's probably like you said about it. But the third, I mean, we've seen multiple drivers get loose, but at least 3 or 4 innocent bystanders here tonight, just taken completely with no real available options to avoid it. So we ran 1 pace lap. Well, we ran about 3 pace laps and 3/4 of a green flag lap, and everyone will stay out. I wasn't going to be surprised if they pitted, but I didn't really expect them to. I wouldn't have been surprised though, but everyone does stay on the racetrack.
I kind of thought maybe the guys back in between 5th and 10th might come down and get some tires, but they do not want to. It looks like Jason Stewart in 12th is the first and only driver to come down pit road here.
Yeah, just trying something different. I mean, it's all you really can do at that point. So any bit of fresher tires can be advantageous. So, and so we'll be at about 31, 32 laps to go when this thing is all said and done with. And it's just a matter of time that it will be before this is going to be money time, and we'll see who does do what. Brian Yazik has been rather clutch in the Truck Series side. Not had that same dominance in the Cup Series, but I think if he is able to pull that off, and I mean, not something that many guys get to do, Evan, is get 2 championships in one calendar year, especially sweeping both divisions. That would definitely be something that he would be proud to have.
Yeah, and Yazik and Mogard both have a shot at doing that. Scott Eckrich and Jeff Ward do not run in the Truck Series, so 2 drivers are going to have a shot at sweeping those championships. And it looks like, at least right now, Brian Yazik is going to have the best shot at doing that of those 2. Mogard now up to 6th. So we'll see if he can get by those few guys in front of him and get up there and maybe lead this race.
And remember that Michael Krobik being a direct teammate to Yazik, there's a chance that he could maybe spoil something or just help him out in any way possible. I mean, he may be able to hold Mogard off. I don't think he's going to have much say or much ability to help anybody in the front of the pack. So Eckrich is, Yazik's going to be on his own there. But we saw Yazik go very early in the zone last time by, and that gave him that big jump over second. So he may be able to pull that off again. And if he's lucky, maybe pull Jordan Ashland along and have Ashland take second spot over.
Yeah, right now, almost at this point, I would maybe, if I was Yazik, try and tell Ashland when I was planning on going, because if he can get Ashland to go when he does, that could really help him out in holding off Scott Eckrich a little bit.
It would. Any amount more effort, any more wear that Eckrich has to put onto those Goodyear Eagles is going to obviously give Yazik that edge. Yazik's going to have open territory. He can run whatever groove he wants to run. He can push it as hard as he feels he needs to. So if he's able to even tone it back a little bit for a couple laps while they're battling, that could help him out on the long run. But that is the lights out on the pace car, and we will get going in one more lap, as we do have less than 35 laps to go. Still 15 drivers on the lead lap. Still about 20 drivers, 19 drivers actually, still on the speedway. A lot of attrition here at Homestead, of about 12 drivers already behind the wall, but championship still is in hard-fought battle mode right now with Yazik, with Eckrich, with Jared Bogard. We can't count him out. He is in 6th. He does have some work to do, but we can't count out that 00. He has gotten up there and stolen a couple races at the very end, and obviously he'll do his best to do that one more time here tonight. Yazik will take it through 3 and 4, get those tires nice and clean and ready for what could be the final caution, or will we have more? We'll find out together. Pace car is soon approaching the pull-off point into pit lane. And will Yazik go early in the box? Will he go a little bit later? What kind of strategy is he going to pull off, and how good of a restart will he get? There he is on the loud pedal, gets a pretty good jump at the 27. Where was he on that restart? All the way in the back, green flag in the air.
So that's going to allow Eckrich to easily hang on to the second position there, and out of turn 2, he's already to the back bumper. That number 55 of Brian Yazik out of turn 2. Now we'll see if Eckrich does try and make a move here in 3 and 4. Or at this point, do you think Eckrich tries to save his step a little bit?
Yeah.
Or it looks like he's going for it.
Yeah, nearly to the back bumper there, nearly into the back bumper. but he does choose to back off a little bit, give Yazik the space. Might as well pressure him at this point. It's not going to hurt anything to pressure him, because you know that you have a faster car, so take advantage of that situation and make him work for it, make him wear his tires out.
Richard Stallings up there in the 3rd position right now, just in front of Jared Mogard in 4th. Stallings having a really nice run here tonight. Started back in 16th, now up to 3rd. As car sideways in the grass on the front stretch. I don't think they'll bring the caution out.
That's Mitch Brown. He's in the middle of the track now, but there's nobody else that's going to pass him, so...
Looks like him and Jim Foose had some contact out of turn 4.
Yeah, on instant replay right now. Yeah, the 18 kind of came up into the door, and that slid him quickly down the track and into the concrete barrier to the inside of the front straightaway. So now Mitch Brown will continue, but we do stay green.
And Eckrich still right on that back bumper of Brian Yazik through turns number 1 and 2. Eckrich is definitely trying to get by him, and I wonder if he's maybe hurting his tires a little bit too much here.
It just all depends what his exact mindset is right now. Am I trying to pressure Yazik into making a mistake? Am I pressuring Yazik into overusing his tires? Or, I mean, I don't know exactly what his strategy is, but whatever he is doing, it is having him now to the inside. He is going for the lead, battle for the lead, battle for the championship. Yazik is not able to fight on that outside groove. 70 to the lead, and well, Evan, it's going to take a serious chain of events for this to change. I don't expect Yazik, but you know he's going to keep going as hard as he can.
I think Eckrich is just going to be able to pull away, because he is definitely faster than that number 55. Yazik right now just needs to hope that Eckrich is burning his stuff up, because he was pushing really hard to try and get by Yazik, and Yazik, he didn't put up much of a fight. At least it didn't look like from up here. So he might have just been trying to hang on to his stuff and let Eckrich go up there and burn his stuff up.
Yeah, that's probably what the case was, where he was trying to just get him to burn his stuff up, get him to make a mistake. He knows that he is the faster of the two cars, so just see what your competition's made of. Mogard was able to get by Richard Stallings for that 3rd spot. So we'll see if Mogard, maybe on the long run, if he has anything that will allow him to get back into this fight. He does have about 1 1/4 seconds that he will need to eat up.
I think right now just both Eckrich and Mogard are hoping for a caution, because it looks like Eckrich 1/10 quicker than Yazik and 2/10 quicker than Mogard, so both of those drivers are going to need a caution, or just hope that Eckrich is burning his stuff up.
Yeah, if Eckrich is burning his stuff up, then, well, in all honesty, Yazik, just keep doing what you do. Maybe at this point of it, Yazik has not really been this close to Eckrich. Maybe he can learn something now, and maybe he can apply it to his benefit and try to stay with him, and maybe even come back and make a move later in the run.
Well, fastest car on track last lap was Jared Mogard in this lap once again, but only by 0.04 this time.
So he is with, yeah, you can see here on the ticker, Yazik only a 58 to both a 44 run by the 70 and the 00. So Yazik just visually see that that car is becoming more and more upset as he does start to trail off, but Mogard is doing the opposite right now, starting to gain some time in that 00. We'll see if the trend does continue this next lap.
This lap a 10th slower from Mogard. So that is not at all what he needs if he wants to try and catch up to this 70, and it looks like he will probably catch up to the 55, but I do not think he's going to get up to Eckrich.
Yeah, he was 1.1 seconds back. Now he's about 1.3. Yazik now about 3/4 of a second off of the lead. So it does look like it is spreading out up front as there's 23 laps to go in this race right now. Battle for position going on. That's Krobik and Ashland for the 5th spot right now. Krobik to the inside, the outside rather. And this 27 trying to dig down on that lower banking down there. It makes it hard, but he did get a really good run off of corner number 2, and this is where it is more advantageous to be on the inside, and Ashland did have that groove, and he's able to do a little bit of a slide job, get up in that third groove, and Krovic's going to try to take that momentum and do some kind of a crossover, as we do have, well, I thought we had a battle for position. It was actually just Mogard getting loose off of 4.
Yeah, last time by, Mogard was about 2.5 tenths slower than than Ekrich, and a little bit slower than Yazik, so that is not at all what Mogard needs.
Yeah, it was not, but just looking at the grand scheme of things, Evan, I'm just looking back at this entire season that we have had, and I mean, you can't really, obviously you want to win the championship, regardless if you're in the top 4 in the championship picture, you want to be able to win it. But just looking at the season, Scott Ekrich won 3 races, and he's been up front almost all season. He has led tons and tons of laps. Obviously Jeff Ward, he has been the dominator this season, and he's every race that he has finished in the top 10 in, he's been in the top 5 in, so he hasn't really had any mediocre runs, but obviously making that one mistake, that's going to ruin him. But in all honesty, on Brian Yazik, he, as we said, he hasn't really been the same driver in the Cup Series versus in the Truck Series. So for him specifically, is it a disappointment maybe to not win tonight, or is it kind of maybe I stole a better finish than I probably expected to get, do you think?
It's definitely, I don't think it should be a disappointment for him, because he came into this Final Four with only 1 win compared to, I know Jeff Ward had 6 and the other drivers had 2 and 3. So finishing second in the championship race, that shouldn't be a disappointment for him, because he's having a really good run tonight, running second to Scott Ekrich, who has won, I believe, 3 races this season.
Yeah, and maybe on the other side of things, when we get to the Truck Series, it may be a little different as a big wiggle. Maybe I think Yazik will be more of a disappointment if he isn't there, but that is on the other side of things. And well, we'll go to Jared Mogard right now. And Mogard, who, again, he's had 2 wins this season, 10 top 5s, 11 top 10s, running in 3rd right now. Maybe a little bit more of a favorite than Yazik is based on performance this season, but again, just compared to the guys who've been 1st and 2nd most of this season, I feel like Yazik and Mogard have kind of been the, I don't think they had any pressure on them at all coming into tonight. So again, nobody wants to finish 3rd and 4th. Obviously Jeff Ward's going to have the worst finish tonight, but even Mogard, I think, kind of nice solid run, can't really be disappointed with the effort.
Yeah, none of those top 3 should be disappointed. Jeff Ward, he's had such a good run for all of this season, just this race has not been good for him. Yeah, 6 wins coming into this, and this is not at all the finish he wanted.
I mean, we're in Miami. I would not be surprised to find Jeff Ward at a bar right now, just drinking the misery away. I mean, I've done that many a time before. I've had some races, I've had some championships that it just takes one mistake in this new format of racing where winner take all comes down to the very end. I mean, taking it into other sports, I mean, I'm a New England fan, and I mean, I have to say 18-1. I know, Evan, you have no idea what that means, but New England Patriots winning, having a perfect season, and then blowing it in the final game. I mean, the guys who you expect to win in this new format, it's just one mistake. I mean, take it whether you love it or hate it, one mistake can cost you a whole season.
Yeah, that's the, I guess, the beauty and the flaw of this playoff format. It's fun to watch, but it can be devastating for some of those drivers.
Yeah, I mean, kind of just taking NASCAR and ultimately sim racing into that new mindset of just traditional sports where you have to be right on that edge of elimination. You have to perform in the clutch. You have to get through adversity, maybe overperform, maybe underperform, but there is some good racing on the track right now. About the latter end of the top 10, we go back to about Tyler Seville in 9th. We have Jason Stewart in 10th, Jim Foose in 11th, Scott Smith in 12th. A lot of close quarters racing, and as you could tell at this point in the run, everybody running right up against the fence. That's where the momentum is as these tires wear and the handling goes away.
Yeah, after 26 laps on these tires, you're going to need to run up against that wall to have any sort of grip. There still isn't much up there, but there's more than if you were running that middle or bottom lane. It's pretty much everyone, at least 8th on back, is running that Larson line, as David Hudson in the 75 got him through the wall a bit there. And it looks just like everyone 8th on back is still pretty close, but Scott Eckrich is the only one that's really been able to get away very much.
See Tyler
as
Seville.
He's got a 1.8 second lead.
Hudson again into the fence as Seville ran the inside of the track. He'll take that opportunity of the 75 losing that momentum to go to the inside of the track, but now the 75 will have the top and Seville will clear. It's going to be a big momentum difference on the exit of the corner, but I think the 75 just kind of conceded the position. And now Jason Stewart is next in line as, well, Hudson, he's not done. He's going to take it to the inside. There's a little bit of a bank transition there. 75 got loose. Seville very high up the racetrack. So these guys, again, this is hard position. This is not for anything drastic. It's for individual positions, but these guys want the best finish they can get, and they're going for it.
And with these drivers racing as hard as they are, at this point, I wouldn't really be surprised to see caution with how hard they're racing and how out of control they are.
Who's in the grass? Michael Krobik.
Krobik in that 72. He was in 6th. Just got loose out of turn 2.
And I think his teammate may have wished that he got a little bit more loose and threw out a yellow flag, but I'm very actually surprised I didn't throw out right there, but I mean, if you're Yazek, come on, teammate, come on, spit it out. Throw a yellow flag out for me. Nearly did, but we stay green, and the gap now 2.5 seconds, and we thought that Mogard may have had the ability to close in on Yazek. Well, that was not the case, as Mogard has dropped back nearly 2 seconds off the back bumper of Yazek, as now we have 10 laps to go in the race and in the Cup Series Championship.
But one thing we also haven't talked about is Yazek and Eckrich are also teammates, driving for Loud Pedal Motorsports, so the 3 of them are all teammates, so that's something we actually haven't talked about at all, with Eckrich being a teammate.
I completely ignored that fact. I mean, mainly I just go off of make, and that kind of gives me a good idea, but usually I thought they ran forward, but a kind of a multi-manufactured team, what do you know? So I guess, I mean, if you are Yazek, you don't want to lose to your teammate. You don't want to lose, but if you're going to lose, I mean, I guess... Whoa! Caution flag! This changes
Richard
everything.
Fletcher and Jared Haggerty, they are not going to be on Scott Eckrich's Christmas card list.
47, just the awkward loose in the middle of the straightaway syndrome, and Haggerty just, again, how many innocent bystanders have gone down today? Is it iRacing or a game of Grand Theft Auto? I'm not quite sure, but there's been a lot of drive-by wrecks here tonight. So
this is going to be about 4 or 5 to go.
Yeah, we will get going. Remember the ASRS rule of no one flag shootouts. 1 lap shootouts. We won't have that. We have many laps. We should have at the minimum 3, most likely 4 laps to go.
But this will be the final restart for sure.
You have to pit. It's been 33 laps. I can't even fathom a 2-tire stop. This is just going to be a matter of don't screw up this pit stop. Don't slide your pit box. Don't go too far to the left. Don't go too far to the right. Don't speed.
But on these 30-lap old tires, it's going to be hard for these drivers to get stopped in their pit stall.
Well, look at the gap that Eckrich has. He can baby this pit stop as much as physically possible. But what were you saying, Evan? The biggest flaw or your favorite part of this system is, I mean, we're going to have a championship decided on about a 3 to 4 lap shootout.
Yeah, it's very fun for the fans, but it can be absolutely devastating for those drivers.
All right, so let's see what's the race on pit road, and Eckrich in there, nice and smooth. I can't fathom 2 tires, and of course we won't see it, luckily. But there goes Yazek, there goes Eckrich, and
they're going to be 1, 2, 3 out of pit road.
As long as there's no penalty, I can't imagine any kind of penalties right there. So we love to say take your picks, and I don't know. I don't want to be Mr. Obvious, but I think I'm going to be. But I think right now, Jared Mogard is probably over Yazik in the best position to do something right now, just because he is on the inside lane.
And we know Mogard, he's a very aggressive driver. He'll do whatever it takes to get this win in championship. Yazik would be a lot more cautious with it than Mogard will be, just because their driving styles are different, and Eckrich is a teammate to Yazik.
I mean, but at some point, I mean, you go to a point, I mean, okay, we're not saying let's go dump a guy, and I mean, we're not saying that. But, I mean, if this is the third race of the season and your teammates to the inside, are you going to door him? No, you're probably just going to go with it. But, I mean, at what point does this is a championship, and there is money on the line, and I'm not sure the exact dollar amount, but there is a lot of sponsorship value behind the American Sim Racing Series. So what takes that difference from this is a race, this is championship? Where do you draw the line, and where do those deals kind of go in the trash can?
I'd say they're probably in the trash can right now at this point, with they're going to be less than 5 laps to go.
I think
I know if it was coming down to me or Corey win this championship, would I put the bumper to him? Oh yes, to get the championship, I would. And I know you would do the same to me.
I mean, but on those same lines, I'm not going to try to wreck you. If it's going to be a natural, good fought battle to the end, I don't want to win that on you going in the fence. I want to see best driver who wins the race, and we know the best driver. I mean, I don't want to say the best driver overall, I don't want to judge that far, but the best driver in this race by far is the number 70. But we saw Jeff Ward, we saw the best driver all season. He made a mistake. There is a little bit of wheel spin on these restarts. It doesn't take much, and if Mogard is on his game, he can really get to the back bumper of the 70 and maybe give him a little bit of a fit. And again, we can't count out Jordan Ashland. He must be very... I mean, if you're Jordan Ashland now, I don't even know what... You don't want to mess up. You want to win. You want to get the best position you can, but you know what's going on in the shootout, so you kind of have to just... actually, I don't even know what to do if you're the 27 or not. I think you just kind of have to chill there.
Yeah, because you really don't want to mess up this battle. It's only going to be about 4 laps to go. So I think Ashland will most likely end up laying back a little bit. Not a whole lot, just doesn't want to interfere with any of those top 3. But we're about to decide a champion here.
Yes, we are. This is the final restart of the race. If a caution comes out, that will wrap it up. So we'll see what happens. The fastest car is to the inside, but Yazik and Mogard, top 3, all going for a Premier Series championship. The pace car is in for the final time tonight and in the Cup Series season. And there goes Eckrich on the loud pedal. He gets the jump. 117, very loose to the inside. Green flag back in the air, and Eckrich did exactly what he needed to do.
At this point, Eckrich might be far enough away that he doesn't have to worry about either of those drivers behind him, unless he ends up making a mistake, as he's already up to a 4/10 of a second lead out of turn 2.
There goes Mogard. This is even further icing on the cake to inscript that championship trophy for Eckrich, as these guys will battle, but you need to battle. They need second place and third place. You want the best position you can get. Mogard can't do it that time by, already after 1 lap out to a half-second lead for the 70.
And Yazik is going to fight this double zero, because if Yazik's not going to win the championship, he wants his teammate to. So he is not just going to let Mogard go by and go race him. He's going to race him as hard as he can to try and protect his teammate and himself.
Yeah, he is, and this is coming to 2 laps to go, and Mogard diving into the inside of the racetrack. This is where that inside lane loses his momentum, and Mogard's not going to put the door to him. He's going to race him clean, and he's going to lose that momentum off of corner number 4. 2 laps to go. Now already a 3/4 of a second lead for the number 70 machine, as Mogard still digs for this P2.
Still side by side for second out of turn 2. Mogard is faster, but Yazik is pinching him down on that outside lane. It's going to allow him to clear down the backstretch. Going through 3 and 4 now, getting ready to take the white flag out of turn 4.
1.5 miles to decide the championship here at Homestead Miami Speedway for the Twitchy Race Reports ASRS Cup Series. As the white flag is in the air, Scott Eckrich, he is ready for a championship. He has won a couple races this season. He won at Darlington Raceway. He won at Martinsville last week. He's going to try to go for 2 in a row. Actually, he won at Pocono as well. He's going to go for his 4th win of the season, and well, the most important one of the season is going to be the one for the championship. The number 70 shows the guys who is the fastest guy in town. Scott Eckrich, the 2018 Twitchy Race Reports Cup Series champion.
And the two guys he had to beat to win this championship, Brian Yazik and Jared Mogard, do come home in 2nd and 3rd.
So a hard-fought race and a very good job of driving by everyone involved, especially the top 4 championship drivers, top 3 being Eckrich, Yazik, and Mogard, all in the playoffs. So we want to congratulate all of these drivers, and we will give you a final rundown of the results before we head to the post-race show. So with the final results here from the Homestead Miami Speedway. With the victory here tonight was Scott Eckrich, leading 77 of the laps, the victor and the champion. Brian Yazik in 2nd, Jared Mogard in 3rd, Jordan Ashland in 4th. We have Jason Stewart in 5th, Tyler Seville in 6th, Troy Haight in 7th, Jim Foose in 8th, Mitch Brown in 9th, and Jared Haggerty rounding out the top 10.
And finishing in 11th, we have the number 117 of Richard Stallings, in 12th, the 21 of Scott Smith. In 13th, the number 75 of David Hudson. 14th, Richard Fletcher. 15th, Michael Krobik. And rest of the top 20, we have Tim Knott, Brad Cross, Lee Staples, Josh Walker, and Alex Giese in 20th.
And rounding out your field here tonight was Andy Veltman in 21st, Jordan Harnish in 22nd, Jeff Ward with that just heartbreak getting loose and having that hard impact into the back straightaway wall will settle for a 23rd place finish. Jack Wells in 24th, Brandon Stokes in 25th. John Kennedy, Woody Mahan, and Steve Buhala round out your field of drivers here tonight. So we will wait for a brief moment for these guys to get into the booth and talk about their championship efforts and their race efforts here tonight from Homestead. So stay with us. After a brief break, we'll be right back with you.
There's just something about dirt racing that's just, you can't get anywhere else. I enjoy going back to race them whenever I can. I get to run about 20 to 25 dirt races a year and try and put on a show every time I'm there.
Battle for the lead. Kyle Larson to the inside of Shane Stewart. Slide job, no. Larson unable to complete the pass. He'll follow Shane Stewart down the back straightaway. Stewart makes the move to the inside of Craig Kinsler. Kyle Larson goes around the outside out of turn 4. You've got a new race leader. Kyle Larson from 9th leads on lap number 23.
I'm probably just a little more relaxed, I guess, at the dirt track just because it's for fun. Where the NASCAR stuff, it's points racing and a lot bigger sponsors and stuff you have to please and all that. You're there for 3 days a week, so your approach is a little bit different there. Where sprint cars, you're there for 5 or 6 hours and moving on to the next racetrack. So I've been on iRacing, I think, since 2009 or 10. Yeah, I remember, starting out, as a rookie on there, in the Legends and the late models and stuff like that. And that was fun to, have to try and get your licenses up and stuff. But it's amazing to me how, now that I get to race on a lot of the tracks that are on there, how to the T, similar because of the laser scanning and stuff like that. So all the bumps and all the visual aspects of it are very good. So when I first got to K&N and then the Nationwide Series at the time, I would race iRacing all the time to learn as much as I could about the racetrack before I went to the actual racetrack to race. So to me, it's just for fun now. So I enjoy going on there. Actually, I don't enjoy going on there all the time because I don't win a lot. So it's frustrating to see myself struggle to run top 10 in an Xfinity race or something like that and get beat by Logan Seavey every time I run a sprint car. So the level of competition on iRacing is better than real life. You've got
And we're back here on Facebook Live for the post-race show here tonight for the not the Sam Maxwell Customs. What am I talking about? It's the Twitchy Race Reports Premier Cup Series Championship 200 presented by Axed Media here tonight. And again, sorry for the technical side. Obviously, YouTube going down, which, well, that just doesn't happen. So some issues. So we finished it here on Facebook for you and saw a great finish. We're going to start the post-race show with the third place finisher here tonight of Jared Mogard.
Well, Jared, you come up with the third place finish here at Homestead, and you just didn't quite have enough speed there in that last run for the championship. What are your thoughts after this race?
Yeah, we'll take it. You know, we've been a little bit off a little bit all year to them guys, and you know, it showed again tonight. So we'll take it. You know, we were kind of hoping for third. Thought maybe we had a shot at second there. Racing Yazik had a good battle with them, but just burnt tires up a little too fast, I think. But we'll take it. It's been a fun year, and that's off to Scott. Him and Jeff were the class of the field there, and Jeff just had one mistake, and it ended up costing him.
Yeah, well, you started back in 22nd, so what was it like getting up through this field while knowing you had to keep your car clean to go race for a championship at the end?
It wasn't too bad. I mean, you can move around this track, and that's part of the reason why we did it, is because, you know, I knew there were multiple lanes to work with to try and get around people, and you know, that's what we did. I'm really good in 3 and 4. It seems like every time we come here, and we were able to get by a lot of people that way too. So it wasn't too bad. Just for me, it was more of a comfort thing, and like I said, I knew going into it, we weren't as fast as the 90 and the 70s, so just wanted to have a little bit of fun and see where everything ended up.
Alright, well, is there anyone you would like to thank or give a shout out to after your third place finish?
Yeah, iBog Power, TDS, Nick Kaufman and Kaufman Racing Graphics, and Twitchy Race Reports for being on this guy. I gotta thank Jim for putting on the league and in the series, and Twitchy Race Reports for coming on board as a title sponsor for the Cup Series, and you guys for the broadcast, and everybody tuning in for watching all year long. Hope you guys enjoyed, and hopefully the truck playoffs are just as exciting all the way down to the end as well. And congrats to Scott on the championship as well.
All right, thanks for talking with us, and good luck in the truck playoffs.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
Now Corey has caught up with second place finisher Brian Yazik.
Brian, I will say, man, you are my favorite interview, so I'm glad I get to do this one with you tonight. But I mean, you go into tonight probably not expecting to be the favorite. I mean, obviously Eckrich and Ward kind of had the Cup Series covered all season, but you had a shot, and the way the strategy worked out, you had the lead for a good portion of the race, and the way the yellows fell and how things played out, and ultimately it just came down to a couple restarts, and obviously Eckrich just showed his muscle. So what was it like for that number 55 here tonight, all throughout the night?
I mean, it was great. I kind of came into the night in our, you know, just not really expecting a whole lot, because I'd run Homestead in the Cup car in quite a long time. So I wasn't really 100% sure of what exactly I needed to do, but I was watching some of the guys, you know, in the first part of that stint, and just kind of seeing what they were doing, and just trying to you know, kind of copy that. And we kind of hit on something, and then that long green flag run, you know, the way it kind of shook down when we did the split strategy, you know, it kind of made sure that the LPM guy was going to take it. Like, so that was really kind of the thought process there. And yeah, we had led a whole bunch of laps and kind of caught lucky with the way that the pace car kind of caught up on some things. So it's not a bad night for HPP Simulation Ford Fusion.
Yeah, so as we were kind of talking about during the broadcast, you can't really be disappointed just knowing that you probably were kind of an underdog going into it tonight, and you nearly snuck it out, but you got a second, and obviously now your focus goes on to going in the Truck Series. I know you probably, obviously, it would have been nice to get the dual campaign, but now that you fully shift your focus down to the Truck Series, how do you use that to get yourself wrapped up for 2018?
I think, getting some laps at Homestead, kind of no matter what you're in, it always helps in kind of figuring out what you want to do. Because now, when we come back here in a couple weeks for the truck finale, I kind of know what I want to do already from the line standpoint and how I kind of want to run things. So, we got a lot of some homework done there, so that's not a bad thing. But I would have liked the duel. That'd have been kind of cool. But all in all, the way. Finish up second in points. I mean, I feel bad for Jeff. He's been the class of the field all year, and then he had something happen to him. We don't know what. He just he said he hated the track, and then he left TeamSpeak. So, come to find out, it looks he had some issues off it too. So, that's unfortunate for him. Really hate it for him and all that. But really happy for Scott coming over and bringing home a championship for himself and Loud Pedal Motorsports. That's really great. I think that's our 4th team championship that we've brought in since we've come to existence, so that's not bad either. But we're gonna try and bring home number 5 for everybody there probably next month, I think, is when it all circles out. But it's not a bad night, not a bad way to spend a Tuesday.
Yeah, not at all, man. So, again, we'll let you give your shout-outs and who you want to give a shout-out to for your second place championship effort here tonight.
Well, absolutely. First and foremost, HPP Simulation for being on the car now for a better part of 3 years. Mark Hargett and all of his support is wonderful. Loud Pedal Motorsports for kind of getting the team together and getting everybody in the same thought process and the same marching orders and all that. Mike and I work real hard at trying to keep everybody in line and get everybody in order. Sim Racing Apps, Clipping That Apex, AMSOIL by Adam Littell. I'm just for Jim for everything he does for the league, and for you guys for apparently recovering and getting the end of it on the Facebook. That's kind of awesome. So, just thanks everybody who puts this deal on and gets everything moving. It's real awesome.
Yeah, of course, man. Didn't want this night to go unbroadcast, so half it's on Facebook, half it's on YouTube, but it's all there. So congrats again, Brian, and we'll be following you in the truck series.
All right, sounds great.
And now your champion in 2018, Scott Eckrich.
Well, Scott, you leave Homestead Miami Speedway with your 4th win of the season and a championship. So, what are your thoughts after this race?
I was just super happy there to end that on a high note. We knew it was going to be tough here tonight, and it held true. With the Brian and Jared and Jeff. Early on, I know he had some trouble, but wow, that was awesome.
Yeah, coming into this race, throughout the season, it kind of seemed like you've just been the second best compared to Jeff Ward, who's got 6 wins. You now having 4. Is that kind of what you felt like coming into this race? You were going to have to beat Ward to win this championship?
Oh, without a doubt. When it comes to 1.5 miles, you know who you have to beat. It's really easy. You're going to have to go out there and outrun Jeff if you plan on winning. And, we had, like you said, we did not have a great start to this season. I felt like we kind of started figuring stuff out there towards the second half of the season, and we managed to kind of roll that momentum into the final race here and grab this championship.
Yeah, that final caution there, you got back going green with 4 laps to go. What was going through your head at that point? Did you think you had it locked up, or did you think they were going to be able to get by you?
I thought if I had, with the way the restarts are here, the way you can jump them, and the fact that we don't have any wheel spin or anything, normally if you get the good jump initially, you're going to get a half second. I knew if I could successfully get that a half second there, I knew I'd be pretty good, and ended up running my fastest lap of the race there with 2 to go or 3 to go. So, as long as we got a good restart there, I felt like we had real good chance to convert that, barring no mistakes.
All right. Well, is there anyone you would like to thank or give a shout out to after your win and championship here at Homestead?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank everybody at Loud Pedal Motorsports for this whole year here. Brian Yazik and Mike Krobach, the leaders over there, for inviting me a couple years ago now, and it's been a great ride. And Jim Foose and all the administrators at ASRS that put on the show every week and make this racing possible for us to have fun with, and you guys for making where we can have more than a memory, can go back and watch it.
All right, thanks for talking with us, and once again, congrats on your victory and championship.
Thank you very much.
All right, and he's in the waiting room, so I have a feeling he wants to say something. So we'll bring in league owner Jim Foose into the booth. All right, Jim, I saw you in the waiting room, so I didn't know if that was an instigation that you had something to say, but obviously being the owner of everything and having a championship crown tonight for the Twitchy Race Reports Premier Cup Series, what did you think of the night, maybe from the driver's seat and ultimately as a league owner looking down from the helicopter perspective?
Well, first of all, we have to congratulate Scott on his championship. He had an incredible run. He missed the race due to a suspension during the season, and still made the playoffs. So, what a great run this season with Scott and the whole Loud Pedal Motorsports team. Also, huge thanks to Jared Mogard from Twitchy Race Reports for sponsoring the Cup Series and convincing me that, hey, we need a high quality Cup Series back in place. We had a partnership with the league for 2 years, and they were getting 13, 14 cars a week. And Jared came to me about midway through 2017 and said, look, I'll pay to sponsor it. I want to do this. I want to, I'll help drum up business for it. And he came in and helped us build it. And here we are. We went back to Cup this year. And just an exciting year overall for the league. From the driver's seat, I wasn't supposed to be out there that long. I think at one point I might have saw a black flag waving at me, but we'll go there later. But this was going to be a start and park just to keep our points for the 9th place best of the rest in the championship. And well, nobody argued over cautions. Nobody argued over who caused what, and everybody was pretty orderly. The race was pretty clean for the most part, and we had a great brand professional agriculture Chevy Camaro ZL1, and just figured that, hey, we'll keep it out there. Got our 4th top 10 in a row in our last 4 races. We missed Martinsville, of course, and so really, I mean, that's exciting. Ever since we partnered up with Loud Pedal Motorsports, even though they're not an entirely a Chevy team, they do run Fords and Chevys. They have helped us tremendously, and it's been an incredible run these last couple weeks since Darlington at the end of August. We've had a lot of fun.
Yeah, you have, and now focus goes back to being in the driver's seat for the Truck Series. So how do you feel about wrapping up that season, and what do you think you can accomplish over there? Obviously not, unfortunately, being in the playoffs, but anything positive you think you can pull out of the rest of that season?
I mean, we have a couple good tracks coming up for us, so really happy with the rest of the schedule. Obviously, 2 points stings a little bit considering that my mistake at the road course. So we've actually, Corey, you're gonna love this one. I've been practicing Cup car, Xfinity car, and trucks at Rovals and random road courses, and just kind of learning how to shift properly and trying to do everything I can. Also kind of shaken down for an upcoming Roval series that the AEA has their eyes on.
I never heard about that. I might have to look into it myself. But again, thanks for everything that you do for the league, Jim. Obviously, everyone appreciates it. We like calling it from up top, and we'll be talking to you soon.
Well, hey, we still have 4 Sam Maxwell Customs Truck Series races left on Tuesday nights, the next 4 weeks. And don't forget Wicked Cushion December Dirt Week presented by TJB Designs, mo.com, as that's coming up December 11th through the 13th.
And there you go. Always got a plug. So again, check out for that. But thanks again, Jim.
Thanks, guys.
So we will wrap up coverage tonight with our quick shout-outs here. Want to give a shout-out to our channel PTR TV sponsors, Air Movement and Fabrications, Krutz Custom Graphics, overlays by iBog.co. Jason Allison's helping us with the overlays, and Track Cams 4 Gourmets for our cameras here tonight. So kind of the split broadcast because of technical difficulty. So wrapping it up here on Facebook Live is Corey Silva and Evan Black. Hope you enjoyed tonight's coverage. Congrats again to Scott Eckrich on his championship. Have a great night, everyone, and we'll catch you next time.
Have a good night, and we'll see you next week.